The birdhouse doesn't seem to have any birds in there yet, but now the sun's shining, I can hear birds all around. Through the winter, you don't really hear that so much. Two days ago, I built a birdhouse. My plan is to evolve that birdhouse into becoming the next product in the furniture brand that I'm trying to build. But the standard of the craftsmanship and the joinery for the box just wasn't good enough for what I need to achieve. If I'm going to be putting that out there as a product and people are going to pay money for it, then it really needs to be of a standard that says that this is an actual product that some work has gone into and is worth that exchange of money. It's a bit in the distance there. Maybe it looks good because it's about 100 feet away from me. It's a different skill set to join and craft smaller things. Constructing a roof, building a house, those types of things I'm okay with. But this more intricate, smaller scale, attention to detail, joinery is, I'm finding that is a whole new skill set. I heard about one woodyard that I've never been to before, and it's a little bit more of a family run, smaller scale woodyard. They have some variety of wood that you would usually pay a lot of money for because it's finished and ready to sell to the end consumer. But this woodyard, they actually have some of those materials in a little bit of a more raw form. I may even leave that raw, rougher feeling to the wood for some of the products, particularly the birdhouse. So I'm going to take a trip there today and see what they have. I feel like I'm going to buy some wood, even if it's not exactly what I'm looking for, because if they do have individual pieces that are not just the mass-produced type material, I'm going to get drawn in and sucked into buying some wood with the romance and idea that I can build something with that at some point. I think the wood might be quite long lengths and it's not going to fit in my vehicle without being cut down. So I'm going to grab a saw in amongst all this mess. I'm just going to take this jigsaw. I'm not really a fan of jigsaws. I find them quite horrible tools to use. I've never really mastered the skill of using one. Let's head off to the woodyard. So I've just come down to the woodwork shop that's helping me with the phone stands. When I was here, I asked them about if they ever have like waste material that they don't need, because they're building larger scale things like wardrobes and beds and that type of size furniture. And I asked them if when they do that, do they ever have like these smaller pieces that they can't use? And they actually said that they have a big waste container that they put stuff in when they just get overrun with these smaller pieces. And they said that I can take anything from there. There's a chance that there's actually some really good wood that they just can't use that I can make use of. So let's go and see what's in there. I'm not sure what it is about scavenging, but I remember back when I used to do construction projects like loft conversions and extensions, or like, you know, house renovations, and maybe the whole project was £50,000, £100,000 or dollars, whatever. Some quite big projects, and but I'd often get more excited about the sort of $200 or $300 worth of scrap metal that I might take out of the house during the renovation that I could take to the scrap yard and just get money for. Even though it was a much less amount of money, there's just something about creating some money or opportunity from somewhere that was just going to be a waste, and making use of that. But anyway, let's go and check out this bin. That was incredible. Oh, what a nice surprise when you think things might go a certain way and then they just go way better than you might have expected. I got like a whole pile of wood there. It would be easy to think, oh, there's just small scraps. But if I'm building small things, then small wood is what I need. And you know, there'd always be a place I could buy that from, but the fact that they can't use it and they don't really have the intention to sell it on, they're just going to get rid of it, which means I can take it, then it just means that the work I'm doing, I'm already way ahead in terms of profit margins or making money, because whatever I make now, the only cost that I've incurred is my time. Now I'm going to head off to this other wood yard where I think they have some other material which might be suitable for some products, but we're going to go and check that out. Looks like they've got a lot of wood. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. They've got these huge, big chunks. And then I think over here, I don't know if you can see way down in the corner there, it's that grey wood. They put it outside and they turn it throughout the seasons so that it gets a mixture of sunlight and rain. I think they've been doing that for about 7 years to get this really nice silvery grey colour. Yeah, I would love to use that. Don't know if it's going to be the right size, but if I can figure out a way to use it for the birdhouse, or at least part of it. I've got some really good pieces of wood today, a bit of a mixture. But then I also got this wood over here. You can't just go somewhere that's cut trees down and produce this because it takes so long to get this colour. I think that I might be able to do something nice with the bird boxes that I'm working on, because you can see there, they're both pine as they started out in life, but you can see the contrast between the two colours. I want to base the designs around the material I have, rather than just create designs and then go and buy and source wood for them. If I can find wood exactly like today, where it's already gone to the stage of being thrown away and it's going to just go to either be recycled or to landfill, if I can capture the wood at that point and then bring it back to here, and then I can create a design. But there's a really good feeling coming from the fact that this wood was just going to be thrown away. I have one last thing I want to show you before I finish this video, and that is some of the material that I got from the bin or the dumpster, whatever you want to call it, today. And I got a bit carried away in there. I started just picking a few bits, and then as I was doing it, I could see further in that there was some good looking pieces of material. So the only option really was to get in there and dig in a little bit. And I just want to show you these. It might not be what everybody gets excited about, but I don't know if you can see that, but that's I don't know how clear it is because of the light. It's not so good now, but that is just a huge chunk of solid wood. And I'm not that experienced with wood to know what they are, but I have a feeling it might be oak or maybe birch. But you can see from the tightness of the grain there, there's a very dense hardwood of some sort. And I mean, that's just a huge chunk. I don't really have the tooling to be cutting it down to smaller pieces, but that's something I'll have to figure out in time. But another piece there. And yeah, there's, I think, what did I get, 4? Yeah, so there's 4 pieces of that, and I'm guessing that at some point they used it for a high-end build of a kitchen or some solid oak beams in some kind of cabin. But you can see I've got a beautiful split right down it. And at this moment in time, I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. But I think that is the beauty of this furniture brand that I'm trying to build, because the creativity is just endless, and I'm just free to create any design I want because there's no customer giving me their requirements and telling me what they want I have to work to. I'm just free to do whatever it is that I choose. So yeah, so it's very exciting, but I may have to rethink the business model slightly because I was starting to lean a bit more towards some of these designs and products that would be a little bit more mass produced. And now, after the reality that some of this material is going to be available and I may have more material to work with than I expected, I'm going to have a real good think about how I want to approach the furniture brand going forward. Tomorrow, maybe in the next couple of days, I've got to have another crack at building that birdhouse. I've never really been much of a wildlife enthusiast, but I have a feeling that now I had the birdhouse, I may try and track down a pair of binoculars.